Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. Oh my god, that was the hardest time my computer ever had turning on a recording.
Oh, it was just like,
Yeah, it was just like, I will freeze for 13 seconds.
wow. So we discussed everything we had to discuss before we started recording.
That's true. You know what's really funny? Somebody in my comments is like super upset with me because they think I'm a terrible, terrible friend to you.
Really? What'd you do to me?
Whatever episode we had, I don't remember exactly what we talked about in it, but we were talking about like sharing feelings or something like that. And this guy wrote this long comment about how you were just like clearly reaching out for a friend, and I was just completely ignoring you and wouldn't like respond to you and wouldn't give you the support that you were looking for during that episode. And I want people to realize that we might not talk about our feelings super thoroughly during the recording, but we have a lot of discussions off camera about things.
Yeah, honestly, the fact that we were streaming those for the Twitch bounties fucked up, because Jeff's one of the few people I actually talk to when I'm not recording, because most of the shit I do nowadays is live, and that little bit of live streaming we did kind of fucked that up. Those couple of weeks where we didn't talk. But I wonder what that episode was about now.
I'm trying to remember. We were talking about like some more relatively serious things, but I didn't get into them too deep with you because, for one, I didn't know how deep you wanted to get into them.
That's probably when I was bitching about my ex-wife, I bet.
I think it was, actually. So, I mean, so I'm not blaming this, like, the person on the end. Like, from their perspective, it kind of did look like I was being, like, this dick who was just like, fuck this. Just shut up with your feelings, dude. Let's play some Minecraft, you know?
Yeah, we got Minecraft to fucking play. We got a dig.
But man, like, they seemed very, very concerned at my lack of friendship with you. Like...
Yeah, guys, Jeff's no support. So he leaves me hanging.
I'm just like,
and he also leaves blocks on the ground all the time.
I do. I actually threw a couple stacks in the car right before I came to where I'm at right now. So I'm at the pigman farm, and there's like so very few pigmen here.
I wonder if Ryushki's in the nether.
I mean, he could be. There's like 6. Ah. That's crazy. That's so crazy that screws it up that much, that somebody's just in the nether. Yeah, there's
not
that
thing relies on no one being in the nether, basically.
Yeah, there's not enough people in this nether for or there's not enough pigmen in this nether for me to actually be able to repair these pigs.
Well, I guess we're just gonna talk today.
I guess I'll just stand here with no pigmen around, no whatsoever. So do you know the mechanics behind why it would require there to be nobody in the entire nether? Because it's not like...
I guess it's the mob spawning, right?
Well, right, but why is it the mob spawning in the nether so much different? Because I'll tell you, when we're playing like UHC and stuff, granted, we're all going for the same thing when we go to the nether, but we often go different directions, and I'll tell you, there's clearly not a lack of mobs when I'm playing UHC and trying to get through the nether.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why that. I don't know. Did you start Traveler Season 3?
No, but I did rewatch Season 2, and because I wanted to prepare for it, and I am so glad that I did, because there are so many things that I either just missed or didn't comprehend, and now even more questions I have about Season 2 before going into Season 3. Have you started?
Maybe I should do that. No. Actually, so before we start recording, I was telling Jeff I was trying to finish Orange is the New Black. And that's why I've been watching that, actually, so I can watch Travelers, because I feel like I need to finish what I'm like on before I start something else, basically.
So, do you remember, and I hate to do a spoiler because a lot of my questions are surrounding the very last episode of Season 2, but when the 3rd season's already out, I feel it's not, you know...
Yeah.
If I'm spoiling this for you, turn away from this episode, you know. And it's one major question. So you remember what happened at the end of Season 2?
I remember. So honestly, I would like you to remind me. Like, didn't they get discovered or something?
So
like all their loved ones knew,
right? So
they were
the quote unquote bad guy or traveler number 1 basically kidnapped them all, made them make these video confessions of who they were and what they were, kidnapped their families, and basically told their families what was going on, and then released these tapes that they kidnapped because he said he was going to kill the families if they didn't come out with it and all this stuff. And so they thought they could stop the videos from going out. They thought they could embed some virus into them that it would make them like look like they're appeasing him and then like actually stop them before they went out, but it didn't work and all this stuff. And part of this whole thing was for Traveler 1 to help get the machine finished that transfers consciousness from body to body like in one timeline. Because of the fact that the younger kid who's actually like one of the oldest time travelers, number like 155 or whatever, he said that before he was traveling, doing the time travel stuff, he worked on the project that had to help perfect that consciousness transfer before they could even talk about sending the consciousness to the past. And like talked about how seeing his lifeless shell was like this experience that will never, go away from him in the world, because that's the main memory that he has is the first time he moved from his body to a different body and saw his like lifeless body sitting there. And that like is the prelude to the end to show that Traveler 1 has basically successfully moved himself into somebody else.
I forgot about that too. So he basically moves and that way he's disguised again, right?
Right. And that's kind of how the season's ending, except for the fact that somebody else transfers into him. And at first I was thinking it was that Simon dude, the other guy that was in the mental institution, because he had schizophrenia.
Right.
And except he was Traveler 4, and right when somebody transfers into old Traveler number 1's body, he gets in front of a computer and goes, Traveler 5234 has made it. And I was like, or whatever number it was, but it was up in the 5,000s. And I was like, wait a minute here. This is like a new person from the future.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't quite understand why this person traveled into old Traveler 1's body. Like, is somebody else helping Traveler 1 from the future, or was it... So I'm really confused on that. As well as they went back watching earlier in the season with Marcy. I didn't catch the fact that apparently Marcy used to be completely normal.
That's what I kept saying to you. She got fucked up in that asylum.
Yeah, and I must have missed that episode or something, because I didn't remember that at all.
That's why I was really confused when we talked about this before. I was like, so you've realized now why she's the way she is? And you're like, yep.
But I still don't know, like, even after watching that now and understanding what you were trying to get at, I still don't know, like, what happened to her to make her like that, and what physically happened to her brain.
I think they were. It's been so long since I've watched it now, and I feel like I knew better. We talked about this a long time ago, but I thought they were doing some kind of testing on her.
It was Time Traveler 001 and that Simon guy, number 4. I think they were trying to perfect the consciousness transfer, and it didn't work, and it fucked her up somehow. But I don't quite understand how it fucked her up to the point where, and like, what are the odds that she's going to be one of the host candidates that they chose without knowing this, and it happens to be somebody who was fucked with by one of the guys that they're actually after, like in the future.
Right.
That was a lot of weird coincidences that happened, and if people are watching this and have never seen Travelers, they're going, what the fuck are they talking about right now?
Yeah, true. That's true.
But it is so, like, even watching season 2 again, it is so good that I can't wait to sit down and start watching season 3. I just knew I wasn't.
I don't think the acting is always great. That's my one complaint. I feel like sometimes the acting's off. I mean, I don't know. It's been a while since I watched it too, though.
And I agree to an extent. I agree with that about most TV shows that exist. I do like David's acting. He cracks me up.
Yeah. He's the main guy, right?
No, he's the caseworker.
Oh, yes.
He's just like that. He always like cracks these jokes because he like really doesn't understand what's happening, but like it's just
yeah.
He gives away all his lottery money, and she's like, "Why'd you give away all your money? And you gave away your bike to somebody?" He's like, "Yeah, he needed it. I'll buy another bike." And I should have thought of that before I gave away all my money.
Yeah. I mean, Like, he's just like this normal guy and like this really attractive woman, so they just falls into his life too. Like, I don't know.
Right, but well, so the fucked up thing is she's been in his life for a long time as a mentally challenged individual.
Right. So it is kind of a weird dynamic, even.
Right, like it's almost to the point, and this is probably going a little too far, but let's say like your daughter, you find out in 15 years that she actually wasn't yours. Does that mean it's okay to date her now?
I mean, no, obviously not. That'd be like, it's like your adopted daughter at that point. But I don't think that's the same dynamic.
Well, kind of. He was her caseworker as a mentally challenged individual, helping her through life as an...
But then I mean, the weird thing is he basically, I mean, didn't she give like this, like, I was undercover? Wasn't that her whole fucking like story in the long run?
Yeah, kind of. I don't think he thinks that she is now working for she's an FBI doctor working with... Right,
and then she was never messed up. So to some degree, it's like everything she ever told him was basically a lie. So that's kind of fuck with him as well, right?
Right. I just, from his standpoint, it's kind of like helping raise a daughter who then turns out to like not be your daughter, so therefore they start fucking. Like
I still don't agree with that analogy, but
I said when I started, it was a little extreme of an analogy, but that's kind of where it lies. It's close to that. I bet some people who have seen it in the comments will. I bet you will have some people that agree with me and some people that completely disagree with me. So I think this will be one that's like right in the middle.
Maybe. I mean, she's pretty hot, so I kind of want to be on his side. But I mean, if I thought my own daughter was hot, I wouldn't be on the same side. Right. So it's like a weird thing whenever you put it that way.
Yeah. Oh no, she's definitely hot. But I mean, that's how they cast the people. I still love from a time travel perspective, it is such a different time travel concept, and it's done so well, and I love the fact that the youngest guy on their team is actually like one of the oldest people alive right now, and that stuff like really intrigues me. It's just really cool, and the one thing I'm concerned with is all of the season 1 and season 2 were actually like named titles of like Protocol 4 or whatever like was the basis of the episode.
Right.
All season 3's titles are a name of a character.
So you think that like people are gonna die?
Well, I don't know if people are gonna die, but it's just gonna focus heavily on a single character and a different character for basically every single episode of the season, which I think there's only 12 or 10 episodes, and I'm hoping I don't get too, because there's some characters I like more than others, of course, but I don't want to lose sight of a whole, depending on how they do it. I don't want it to be like we don't make any progress because you're showing like it's a whole season of backstory essentially.
Which would be one way they could kind of deal with the fact that the story was kind of supposed to end.
That's true. That's true. They could just basically season 7 comes out and it's finally them picking up on being exposed.
Right. Yeah.
Do you remember? Did you ever watch like 24 back in the day?
Oh yeah. I love 24.
24 was great. Went on for so many different seasons. And the thing about 24 that was awesome, and I use this as the best example, but it's because a lot of shows were not in the format, but they were similar in length. 24 worked because there was 24 one-hour episodes.
Right.
And I feel like that used to be a standard length of a season of a show.
Yeah, like 23, 24, at least 22-ish episodes per season. And every show.
Now I feel everything's dropped back to this 10 to 12 episode format every season.
You know who I think's to blame for that? I think Europe's to blame for that. Because that's what they do.
I mean, I blame Europe all the time. My go-to blame is Europe, of course.
But no, really, they do that with a lot of their shows, or even less, like Sherlock, for example, 6 episodes or whatever.
Oh, that's true. I did start watching Sherlock a long time ago.
Yeah, and you get one of those up. You get your 6-episode season once every 3 fucking years or some shit like that.
Yeah, I guess that one didn't. I guess that's one of the good things that has happened in some of those smaller seasons is there's a lot of times and so this kind of makes up for it when there's 2 seasons a year. Of some shows, they'll do like a fall season and a spring season, and I guess that brings you up to the standard number, but not all shows do that. A lot of them just do, like Travelers. I think Travelers has been, a year and a half or 2 years in between seasons.
I don't think it started as a Netflix original either. I think they bought it.
Really?
It was season 1 wasn't a Netflix original series.
How can you call it Netflix original if you didn't even start it? Isn't it not a Netflix original?
They do that with
anymore?
a lot of stuff, actually.
Isn't it not an original anymore? You could have a Netflix produced season of a series, and the series becomes Netflix produced. It is no longer Netflix original. It never was Netflix.
They do that they buy a lot of shit and they call it Netflix original. There's that German production that's actually a really good series. Dark something. It's really good. It's up there with Travelers and stuff. But it was never a Netflix show, and they just fucking bought it and claimed it to be a Netflix original.
But that doesn't even make sense. So I'm gonna go buy PewDiePie's channel and call it a Jay Sano original.
Yeah. Well, even like the Cloverfield Lane movie, that's the Netflix original. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That wasn't even a Cloverfield Lane production. That was just a sci-fi movie that was made. Netflix bought it, renamed it to Cloverfield Lane, and threw in one throwback to the original movie.
You know,
it never had any relation to Cloverfield originally.
Really? Because I just saw a Reddit post on this, and I thought it was supposed to be some big spoiler or some big not spoiler, what do you call it, Easter egg type of deal with those movies. And somebody had found out that if you play both of those movies at the exact same time, the monster makes its first appearance, or the monster gets created in one movie the second something is talked about and done in another movie, and the monster makes an appearance like at the same time, and like the music and the tempo changes and they like line up perfectly, and people were like, oh my god, what a great find, you know, and all the stuff. And I've never seen either of the movies, so I didn't know if it was that important. But so that was probably complete coincidence then.
It probably wasn't coincidence. They probably added that because like I said, they modified it slightly to make it relevant to Cloverfield, but it was already its own thing that had nothing to do with Cloverfield prior to that.
I mean, I'm very happy that a company like Netflix started making their own series, because there is a lot of good ones. But I did hear that they're getting in trouble because they made so many shitty ones that they really had to ramp back their production queues.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I guess I'm trying to figure out how I find out about some of the series that I end up watching, because I think I end up catching them because they're probably like recommended on Netflix.
Right.
Which is kind of weird. If you're watching a Netflix original, of course they're going to recommend it on Netflix, and how you would find out about it otherwise.
I mean, like, I've never seen a Netflix ad outside of Netflix, but they have to have some, right? Because they can't just be relying on word of mouth, because their whole selling point at this point is their original series, right?
I think I've seen a couple this year during football for some series. And I've definitely seen some for House of Cards in the past. And by the way, that was the one I couldn't think of last week.
Yeah, I knew. I think I said it at some point, but yeah, I knew what you were talking about.
But you still didn't think that was the number one.
I still think Stranger Things is number one.
I still never looked it up to see. You might be right, but I thought House of Cards up until the whole debacle was like way up there.
I will check.
We should sleep, because this rain and this darkness is not good.
I will help that moment. Apparently it's in my coat. Oh, there it is. All right, I'll sleep.
Is there a bed somewhere else? Oh well.
We really should bring beds over here.
I'll fly back over here.
Someone linked us a video of a guy whose packages just keep getting stolen.
So is it the glitter bomb? Apparently this glitter bomb video I've gotten it linked to like 35 times today. Apparently it's what the newest viral video, and everybody like is relating it to what happens to me, which is sad, because why couldn't I make this viral video?
Oh yeah, it's super viral. I mean, this is some guy that works at NASA apparently.
I haven't watched
it yet. I haven't watched it either. So everything I'm telling you is the like word of mouth that's been told to me from people talking about it, because again, it's the viral video right now. So what I've been told, I don't know how much this is true. Guy works at NASA. He developed, he took these like 3 phones, stuck them in the package, so that they were all recording. And you know, I bet Ryu's not still in the nether.
Oh, are you actually in bed? Well, shit,
Yeah.
he's not in the nether anymore. Because then I can go, I can go get these.
Oh, he's just here. He's here. Come back in bed.
That's weird. We've turned into a threesome.
So yeah, he's got these 3 phones in there to record it. But he also has like this fart spray that like stinks really bad. So like once the glitter bomb goes off, it like starts like constantly spraying this, so no one will like try to like take the phones or whatever. So it's not just a glitter bomb. It's like he's got all this tracking stuff set up so that way if they take the package and go far away and then open it, like they get glitter bomb and then he can still go retrieve his package.
I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
I'd love to do it. I just didn't do it first.
I mean, this is the kind of stuff we were talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there's gotta
but
be stuff
people
you could
definitely
set up.
talked about glitter. There's a companies that like sell glitter bomb packages apparently that you can put out there. But yeah, I unfortunately didn't do it first.
I mean, is it legal to have like a mace bomb?
I don't think so. I think because there's when you cross the line of actually causing like harm to somebody, physical harm, I think it crosses a line of some type, which I find kind of funny because if you stepped onto my property and hurt yourself on something when you were like illegally trespassing, I don't think that should be illegal. But you know, people can walk up your sidewalk and slip on your porch because you didn't de-ice in the winter because you were on vacation or something, and you can be held liable for that.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, I've heard of people like getting robbed and then getting sued because they got like hurt themselves in the people's kitchen or some shit.
Yeah, isn't that like screwed up?
I don't think that should be possible. I wonder if that stuff goes through that often.
I don't know. I guess it all depends on how the law is officially written, because that's the problem with like judges and things like that, is they really have to follow the letter of the law. If it's, if you bring up a case that says like...
I mean, you would think they would be setting precedent in these sort of cases, though, like, so that these kind of laws could change. Like, you shouldn't be able to break in someone's house and then sue them when you get hurt inside their house.
I agree.
The moment you've entered my house, like, I don't know. It just feels like you weren't supposed to be in there.
Right, like... I hurt myself on your package because you maced me. It's like, oh, well, I was planning on macing myself. I was leaving it there for when I got home from work. That was for me. Yeah, it's what I enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy it, and you
my
don't.
Saturday
night.
nights.
It's not my fault.
Right. You probably have a hard time proving that.
I mean, just because I scream in pain when I show the court that I can mace myself doesn't mean I don't enjoy it on the inside.
God, that would be the best testimony. You're
it's fucking wonderful. You're you would be pleased to know I did Santa runs yesterday.
Oh, what does that mean?
You went fire department. For Santa? We strapped Santa to the back of one of the engines and go around in the neighborhood and wave to the children and pass out candy canes. And
were you there constantly yelling, "Santa's not real"?
I said, "Come watch your fucking Santa Claus, you little shits." That's what I yelled.
So, what's the final verdict? Like, Christmas is almost here. Is there going to be a Santa?
I mean, for the people who believe, sure, there's going to be a Santa.
Well, does Jack get to believe?
I mean, he's not old enough to really do it.
He is, Jeff!
No. He doesn't
know. How old is he now? He's like 3, right?
He's not even 2.
Well, start him young.
start him young is something you don't want to happen per se, Jeff. Start him young. Oh yeah, this thing's definitely working way better now that he's not in here. There's already like even coming in here before I started, there was already normal zombies spawned on the platforms. Like Why do so many things spawn on these platforms? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't understand these mechanics.
Good, because we're running out of
How it
picks
works.
very, very quickly. I do have 57 levels, too.
Jesus. I wish there was a way to dump your levels into an item.
That would be nice. I mean, I should enchant some books or something like that just to see if we can get some more mendings.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
we don't have any diamonds, do we?
I think we got like 6 or some.
I would say I want to enchant more diamonds just to get a bunch of diamond picks, like at the ready, but...
I'll go look. I think we have some. We should probably end this episode here, though. I'll look for diamonds, and we'll be back.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.